All right, today we have a clip here of Judge Jeanine saying that gun control is not the answer to mass shootings being stopped. We have to focus on the shooter after the shooting. Here it is.
Philadelphia was rocked on Monday night after a gunman went on a shooting rampage across the city. 5 innocent people were killed, while another 4 more were injured, including a 2-year-old child. And of course, the left wasted no time making this all about politics, with Philadelphia's George Soros-funded DA Larry Krasner hitting the airwaves to push his gun control agenda.
Pennsylvania's gun regulation is crap. It is crap. It is time for a bunch of legislators who wear AR-15 lapel pins. It's time for them to quit or to get voted out. It is time for this legislature and, frankly, legislators across the country to swear off their addiction to NRA money and to swear off their addiction to this gun fetish.
Krasner just said the quiet part out loud.
Oh,
He's using this tragedy to come for your guns. Now, if the left really
is he now?
Wanted to do something about mass shootings, they'd focus on the shooter instead of the weapons.
Yeah. Judge Jeanine says, well, you know, the left, they don't care about what, stopping mass shootings or gun violence. They don't care about that. They just care about coming for your guns. We have to focus on the shooter after the fucking shooting, because that makes total sense. Because after the shooting happens, we need to focus on the shooter regardless of whatever stupid shit Judge Jeanine Pirro is going to say, because we all know that she is a fucking idiot. All you have to do is look at the science on guns, and what does the science say? No matter where you look, unless you're looking at conservative media that has no scientific basis to base their research or their article on, where there are more guns, there is more homicide, and it doesn't matter where it is, it doesn't matter what part of the world it is, no matter where, anywhere in the entire world, especially here, more guns equals more killing, okay? And another thing is that even when you say, well, I need my gun for self-defense, okay? I need it for self-defense. It has been, again, scientifically shown time and time again that other forms of self-defense that are not firearms are just as effective in trying to make sure that your property is not stolen or you are not injured, okay? Self-defense gun use is rare and not more effective at preventing injury than other protective actions. Victims using a gun were no less likely to be injured after taking protective action than victims using other forms of protective action. Compared to other protective actions, the National Crime Victimization Surveys provide little evidence that self-defense gun use is uniquely beneficial in reducing the likelihood of injury or property loss. Now, there's another thing. This is an argument that I hear conservatives run around and say all the time. I hear people I know say this dumb bullshit. The guns are used 1.5 or 1.6, or the number just keeps going up with these conservatives. 1.7 million times per year to save lives. This is something that I first actually heard Andy Biggs, who's a representative from Arizona, say during some hearing, and he was over Zoom, and he just pulled this straight out of his ass. And I knew as soon as I heard it that it was bullshit, because it's just not true. I know that wasn't true. He said, millions of Americans safely and responsibly own and use guns. The Department of Justice under Democratic administrations have done their studies and conservatively estimated that guns are used 1.5 million times per year to save lives. This news station right here reached out to Andy Biggs' office to ask, where did you get that number? They reached out and said, hey, can you provide us with the bullshit that you pulled out of your ass? Can you show us where you got that? And they didn't say anything. But they did some digging, and they found that there was a Justice Department article that was written in 1994 that was based on a national telephone survey. If someone said they owned a gun, they were asked, within the past 12 months, have you used a gun, even if it was not fired, to protect yourself or someone else, or for the protection of property at home, work, or elsewhere? If they said they had, then they were asked up to 30 additional questions to determine the circumstances around the incident, such as where the incident took place or if they had seen the person who they felt was a threat. Out of about 2,500 people reached, 45 said they had used the gun for protection. After filtering out those who could name the specific criminal they faced or had not seen the person they thought was a threat, 19 responses remained. And one of the people that actually wrote and worked on this article, who is a professor of public policy at Duke University, Philip Cook, literally said, he said that he was confident there were not 1.5 million lives saved in 1994 through defensive gun uses. And even now, he's saying that that number is just, it's not correct. He's saying that that's not true, and that's not what the evidence in the article that Andy Biggs was referencing even says. And the last thing that I want to address here is firearm death rates in red states. Because when it comes to red versus blue states, contrary to what most all of the conservative media would have you believe, wow, yeah, they lied to you, not surprised. Firearm death rates are much, much higher in red states than they are in blue states. And again, this is, it doesn't matter where you go and look, this is something that is evident across the entire country, okay? Red states just have higher rates of gun violence than blue states. It's not a secret. You don't have to do too much digging for this. All you have to Google is red states red states gun violence versus blue states, and you'll be able to find everything that I'm talking about here. So I don't hear Judge Jeanine Pirro criticizing the red states that have gun violence that is far worse than the blue states. But again, her saying that we need to focus on the shooter is fucking ridiculous. I don't understand how is that going to fix it? You know, they say, gun control is not the answer. What the fuck is the answer then? What is the one fucking common denominator across every goddamn shooting that happens? Oh, what? What's that you say? It's guns? Wow, I had no idea. But no, they're not going to address the fact that we have far more guns in this country than we do people. 333 million people in this country, 334 million people in this country, and we have, what, 420 million guns or something like that? That doesn't make sense. And again, more firearms lead to more homicide. I don't understand how focusing on the shooter after the fucking shooting, how the fuck is that gonna, how is that gonna fucking do anything? And then again, there are loopholes. There are so many loopholes that you can use to illegally obtain a firearm when you are not supposed to have one. There are websites online where you can, there are just like these websites that's like, it's like eBay for guns. There's one that I just can't think of the name of right now. You can go on there and you can contact the seller. You could do a private sale, no background check, no nothing. And you can illegally obtain a firearm. It's so fucking easy. So if it's not guns, explain to me how focusing on the shooter, how does that curb the shooting? How does that make the shooting stop? Explain. Because that doesn't make sense. How do we know somebody's about to go commit a shooting? Even if they say it before they do it, by that time it's too fucking late. So I don't understand this. She says focus on the shooter. How do we know who the shooter is, Judge Jeanine? This is the same lady. This is the same lady who went on her show while she was drunk off her ass. A really great David Pakman video here covering it. This is the same lady who went on her show while she was drunk off her fucking ass in front of her entire audience and Fox News to do her show. So, I mean, I'm never going to take her seriously, but this is a whole new level of ridiculousness.
But they conveniently ignore the troubling history of these killers, of the ones who pulled the triggers.
But again, Judge Jeanine, how do we know that they are going to do this before it fucking happens? How are you supposed to know that? Can you read minds? Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna read their minds, Judge Jeanine?
Like the Philadelphia shooter, who has been identified as 40-year-old Kim Brady Carricker. Carricker is currently in police custody and has been charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. But while law enforcement searches for a motive behind this massacre, we're learning disturbing new details about the shooter.
I'm just getting this information. Police say the shooter is believed to be mentally ill and made several social media posts about guns, according to a senior law enforcement official.
No, did you hear that last part that they left in? I'm surprised they left that in. Did you hear that? They said, and he made several social media posts about guns. I wonder if, if the guns had anything to do with the shooting. I wonder if guns have anything to do with these mass shootings. I do wonder. Again, Judge Jeanine Pirro posting, having this up here saying he had a Daily Mail article, because they're totally accurate. He had posted eerie articles to Facebook titled, "How do you know if an evil spirit is following you?" You know, this guy who did this shooting right here, what he posts on social media is a problem. But when it's a neo-Nazi shooter who literally has tattoos of swastikas and he posts conservative media, that's not important. Now it's not important. And then they're also just the mental health crisis thing is just that's another one of these things that's just, they say it all the time, and they say, well, it's a mental health crisis. Okay, well, again, Republicans are the ones that are against healthcare for all. They're the ones that want to cut Medicaid. They are the ones that don't care about mental health, and if they did, then they would support something like healthcare or Medicaid for all or Medicare for all, whatever you want to say. They would support that, but they don't. They don't support that. They don't care about mental health. They don't care about any of this. And I think, a lot of Republicans, and all you have to do, again, you can look this up right now. There's a list of Republicans and how much NRA money they have taken. And Mitt Romney, I think, is I think he might be number one. It's like 12, 13, or $14 million. I'm not exactly sure on the number, so don't quote me on that. I know it's at least $12 million. $12 million in NRA money that he has received. And, Republicans, this is nothing new for them, okay? This is nothing new for them. They like to take that money. From not just the NRA, but all types of gun lobbying groups. The NRA just happens to be the biggest one. So they're not going to advocate for something like gun control, and they're going to use shootings like this to say, well, the left is trying to come for your guns, and it's not this, it's that. But it doesn't matter what argument they make, because, again, guns is the problem, but every argument they make, they say, well, it's this and that, but Republicans are against all of the solutions they say will help fix it.
Of even more troubling and disturbing stories, including one Facebook post where he asked, quote, "How do you know if an evil spirit was following you?" Clearly, this guy was deranged.
Wow. Wow. Judge Jeanine. Wow. Did you just get that? Wow, really? It's not because he shot people. That's not why. That's not why they are deranged. It's because of this. It's because they posted an article to Facebook titled, "How do you know if an evil spirit is following you?" That's why. It's not because of the shooting, though.
And it wasn't just crazy stories he shared. Carricker also routinely posted online about his support for Black Lives Matter.
I don't understand. Some people are probably going to come and say, well, you don't care about the motive behind the shooting? You don't care about that? No. I think the motive can be important when it comes to things like this. Like someone going in, I think it was Charleston, South Carolina, into a church and shooting people. The shooting in New Zealand, where someone, I believe, went into a mosque and killed the Christchurch shooting, excuse me. Killed a lot of different people. I think that there are definitely shootings that could be racially motivated, religiously motivated. I do think motives can be important, but even again, regardless of the motive, we still know what the problem is. But I don't think that this guy's support for Black Lives Matter has anything to do with the shooting and him deciding to go out and do something like this. They try to throw anything at the wall and hope it sticks. And god damn, it's so stupid. It is so brainless, the shit that they say. He posted about Black Lives Matter.
And his hatred of cops. And he showed off images of himself cross-dressing as a woman, proudly.
I don't understand. I really don't understand this. So there's a trans shooter in Nashville, and then I'm going to be honest, okay? I'm going to be completely honest. There are a lot of outlets reporting that this shooter, the Philly shooter, is not trans, but there are some outlets that are reporting that they are trans. A lot of those outlets, I do believe, are conservative leaning. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I read that this shooter does not actually self-identify as trans. I don't know, but again, it doesn't fucking matter. Stop making this. Stop trying to do this transphobic thing when it's guns. Again, you guys will make any argument. It's BLM. It's transgender people. It's mental health. Anything but the guns. Really, fucking really. It's everything but the guns. You guys don't care about any of the science. Daily Mail is an evil spirit following you. That's the focus of the story. Not the guns. That's not the problem.
Wearing ladies' jewelry and even a bra.
Oh my God. A bra. Wow. Oh my Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's some fucked up shit right there. That's I just guns to me, at least for me as a progressive, I think gun control is one of the most pressing, most important issues that we need to try to push for, because if we all fucking die, if we all get shot and die, then there's not, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And, you know, it's partially a joke, but then it's also partially like, I don't want people to just get shot. That's not something that needs to happen. And we seem to be one of the only first world developed nations where this happens on a regular basis, because you can look at other places that have guns that are similar to the U.S. You can look at countries across the ocean that have guns, and they don't have shootings like this. They do not have shootings like this. That's going to be it for the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.